working on the Cyclone Armor. Ride armor from Robotech MOSPEADA. Had nothing but printer problems recently. So, this was the original forearm. It's a little blocky. I didn't like that, you know. It took a real long time to print. It still takes a real long time to print. And there's just enough of a gap in the model that my printer thought these were separate pieces. So it printed them as such. Which is unfortunate. But these things happen. So I reprinted the base and it went from this to this. It's a little narrower, a little more on brand with the show. Almost big enough that I can fit my hand in. They're printed as two pieces, by the way. Right? With a very snug fit. Almost big enough that I can fit my hand through. But that's how it looks. It's pretty neat. I'm very happy with it. More than likely, I'm going to put elastic on the inside, so it just has just enough of a pop that it doesn't, because it doesn't really need to separate. But it needs to expand just a touch. I printed both of them. They look very nice. I was printing both pauldrons. I don't like this one, by the way. It's the edge is a little too sharp. I forgot to round it over. I don't like it kind of looks like a turtle shell. But I wanted more of a curve here and here, because that's kind of a sharp edge. I don't like sharp edges, especially not in costumes. And it's just, I mean, like the ever bit, like 5% too short or too small. So I've been trying to print the other ones like 3 days now. I'm having printer problems. But these are going to go here. And I think that's going to look fantastic. They're still printing. We'll see if we get to those when we get to those. Step one, as usual, is to sand this whole thing nice and smooth and see where we're at from there. Everything's been sanded to 80. I'm not terribly worried about making these super smooth because they're going to be smooth enough after this process. We of course using glazing and spot putty. Same stuff I always use. Just going to put a light even coat over everything. Kind of weak it's been. Not really, it's been a fantastic week. But I'm not going to glaze the inside because I plan on coating that whole thing with foam at some point. Just like that. It's hard to see, I guess. Why don't I play around? You can get a bird's eye view of what I'm doing. Gives me a chance to grab another tube. At this point, I really should just invest in the Bondo Corporation. The amount I go through. So all I'm going to do is put a nice even coat on. This would be the perfect candidate for glazing putty and acetone, but I hate that process, so I don't want to. hate it so much though. All right, let me go grab some acetone. Glazing putty in a cup, then acetone. It just thins up the glazing putty enough that it's easier to apply. The nice thing about this is it's thin enough you don't really need to sand in between coats. But it smells horrible. I should absolutely have a mask on. This stuff is pretty toxic. Acetone is not really good for you, oddly enough. I know, right? I'm going with the print lines for the first one, and then I'm going to go against the print lines on the next one. For the top part, I couldn't get this part to print right, so I'm gonna resin print a thing and put it in there, or I may FDM print it and put it in there. I don't know. It's getting printed and put in. All right, I'm gonna mix up some more of this, put on a respirator, and get this whole thing done. You don't need to watch that. I'll see you as soon as I'm done with it. Just as an ever so side note here, see if I can zoom in and show you. Right here, this kind of curls up a little bit because it's a rounded shape, and it just barely gets caught when it's going back and forth, and that's what has caused everything to fail for a while now. And since every single side is curved, there's no real easy way to, because you can't just lay it flat, because no matter what, it's going to have a slope. The only option would be to cut it down the middle and do it in two halves. I'm almost at that point. If this fails again, that's what I'm doing. I'll just print 4 halves and glue them all together. But right now, we're going to let this glazing putty dry. Probably going to give it an hour or so. Do probably 2 more coats, just cuz, and see where we're at from there. Got everything sanded. It's not perfect. It's pretty good. It's close. It's about what I'm looking for. Ready for primer. We're doing a Rust-Oleum sandable primer. Do a couple coats. Let's go over to where we're going to be painting so I can show you a couple things. So these they don't stand this way. They tend to fall over. So it has to be upright like this and like that. So I'm going to spray them like this so they're all flat. Let it dry. I'm going to flip them over, spray them the other way. Everything gets a light coat of primer, and that's it. Today is tomorrow. Everything is primed. Also, shoulder pads were printed last night. Got one of them. The other one's printing right now. We may be able to have them in place for the reveal. We'll see. Next step, we paint everything. Unlike last time, I'm going to think ahead. I'm going to paint them the insides, or the sides that get flipped over first. right? That way that's got time to dry. Hit all the hard parts, you know, and it is what it is. So yeah, we're gonna paint with the same light green we used for the helmet. Remember that video, right? All right, so we're gonna use the light green for that, and then yeah, we'll see where we're at after that. Paint's that time to dry. Gonna hit it with clear. We're using Rust-Oleum Custom Auto Clear. Nice light coat. Just like the green, we're gonna do the underside first, flip it over and do the top. Turned out spectacular. So they're a little too tight on the hand, which is why they're still two-piece, because I could barely fit into one of them on one hand, but I can on the other, right? Look at that. That's neat. I can't slip them on and off if I needed. So what I'm going to do is along the inside, I'm putting elastic. I'm going to attach the elastic along the top, along the bottom, and leave a little bit of gap, because it only needs a little bit if it needs a little bit at all. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the back. I was originally going to do magnets or Velcro or something overcomplicated, so no. I'm just going to put a little hot glue, as a matter of fact, a little elastic all the way around. And then we're almost done. This back piece I can make relatively close because it only needs to kind of pivot, but I want the seam to be right here on the bottom. Put down a little bit of glue. So like I said, this only needs to pivot, so I don't really need to worry about where I put the hot glue, because the elastic doesn't need a lot of room to elastic. It does a great job of finishing off the piece. So that's it. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, except the other side's just a little bit different. So this side does need to move a little bit. It's just hard to see. Everything in this project is hard to see. So we're going to start at the same spot on the bottom. So we're going to put down a little bit of glue. This time, when I get to about 1/2 inch, I'm gonna stop gluing and then stop gluing for about 1/2 inch on the other side. And that's just so the elastic has room to expand if needed. I know it's real hard to see what I'm doing. It's real hard for me to see what I'm doing too. There we go. Just do the same thing on the other one. I feel ridiculous, but I absolutely love it. I think it's perfect. Everything looks about to scale. I mean, these things look awesome. They're exactly like they were in the show. The armor's still a hair too tight, but I'll live with it because everything else looks just pauldrons printed. They're not sanded or painted or anything, but they're just on. Give you an idea of what it looks like. It's stupid. Oh my God, is this stupid? But I absolutely love it. You love it. And if this is your thing, maybe thinking about, you know, the things that pop up here or the thing that's right here. You do what you need to do. Like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you want. Thanks for making it to the end. Thanks for watching me do something absolutely stupid. We're going to keep going next week. Hope to see you then.